You know what? Let's start. Oh, God, it's so bright in here. I normally start way later in the day. It's so bright. I don't like it. I am a creature of the night, damn it. Anyway, so let's start with one of our favorites, Chris, and see what he's up to. Someone said that this video he's not doing well. I'm not sure, though. I haven't seen it yet, so I guess we'll find out.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris.
Filming inside the car on the bingo card. Narnandia Owl says roar meat. Rageology says fine, I'll catch the VOD tomorrow. Have a good stream. You too, have a good night's sleep.
From New York, Westchester County. It's 2/19/22. The reason why I published that, or posted it, I figured I'd cozy up to a nice 80s song. When I grew up, there was no MTV.
Is he gonna do another boomer speech? Back in my... That's funny, too, because, like, it's an old... There's an old people thing to say now would be, back in my day, there used to be music on MTV. But he's even predating that. He's saying, when I grew up, there wasn't any MTV.
You just heard the musician. And...
Video killed the radio star. The greatest philosophers of all time said that. The Buggles.
There was no video at all or anything like that. I'm gonna date myself, but it didn't really come out until like 80. I think it was 82 or 83, where they were actually starting to publish videos, and the musicians were publishing videos. And when you see the musicians finally publishing videos, and you find out how fake they are and how much bullshit that they've been through, because all of them have heartache stories.
Wait, is Chris under the impression that prior to MTV, musicians and movie stars and stuff had very real stories that went with their, like, personas in the entertainment industry? Oh no. So I don't know a ton about the music industry because I don't really listen to a lot of music. I'm not a big music person. I'm more of someone who listens to, like, movies and watches movies and TV shows, and I know about the movie industry, so I don't know how much this plays into, like, the music industry. But to talk about a comparable industry in the entertainment sector, the movie industry. The golden age of Hollywood was basically predicated upon taking people and making up fictional stories about where they came from to make them movie stars. That was a common practice, so much so that it was documented in movies made about Hollywood. Like, that was common. I imagine similar stuff happened in the music industry even before MTV. Like, the artist as myth, the artist as legend is not a new concept, nor was it a new concept in the 1980s. So, Chris just doesn't know what he's talking about. Not shocking for a flat earther, but still, it's interesting the breadth and width of the things he does not know of.
Every single fucking musician, every single fucking actor has come up with some stupid story that's made up, and it's all bullshit. Oh, I grew up here, I grew up there, I had 5 brothers who used to beat me, this one hurt me. I mean, it's all fabricated nonsense with the backgrounds of all of these famous people.
I don't know if it's true of everything every celebrity ever says. Like, people do grow up places, and they do have families, but yeah, in the entertainment industry at this point, it's pretty calcified as an industry, so if you want to break into it, usually your best bet is going to be born into a family that's already in the entertainment industry, even, like, tangentially, like as, like, a cousin or something. It helps if you know someone, but that's true in basically all business. But yes, especially show business. I don't disagree. Artemis8192 says, you should look at the Australian Prime Minister's apology letter to the Indigenous people. It's not tinfoil, but it's disgusting. Ew. Narnania Owl says, the way he talks about it makes me think he doesn't know musicians did live performances before TV, and it was all radio.
Because it's all bullshit. There's not one single regular person I know. Maybe Robin Williams, who's dead, obviously, and I think maybe he came from a middle-class family, and it was irregular. You know, I don't even know how the fuck I get into this shit. It doesn't make it.
Why is he so angry? He's just frustrating himself. He's literally sitting in a car alone and making himself mad. What kind of personality disorder is this?
You know, look, these. Keep your kids at a public school.
Well, this certainly jumped a shark. What? We went from celebrities bad and the entertainment industry lies, shocker, to don't put your children in public school. Chris, what the F?
All right, so just keep them out of public schools. I didn't go to a public school.
Oh, and you turned out awesome, Chris.
They confuse you, the teachers.
Oh, now I'm sad. Now I'm so sad.
Are, whether they're liberals, Republicans, Democrats, it doesn't fucking make a difference who these people are, but they're pumping these children information in their heads that are...
Yes, teachers do teach children. Bold statement. I know he's going to continue. However, Chris, no. I've known many teachers in my life, both those that have taught me and people who were just teachers I knew in my life. On the whole, there are good teachers and there are bad teachers. But teachers don't generally have a really wicked agenda. There are certainly teachers who are apathetic and don't care and just go in to cash a paycheck or whatever, and those people are bad teachers. But the teachers I've known in my life, I've been very fortunate. They've been people who genuinely care about the kids that they teach and want to engender a love of learning in them. They want to teach them that knowledge in and of itself is an end, a goal, something to be valued, and that there is good in learning, basically. So, no, teachers are not evil. I'm sorry you were confused in school and didn't get the support you clearly needed. I'm sorry your parents didn't put you in public school or even a decent private school. Whatever you had going on clearly didn't work out for you because you're a man, I don't know how old, sitting in his car bitching about MTV in the year of our Lord, 2022, and yelling about the flat earth. And you think the issue is that public school is hurting children when you didn't even go to public school and this is how you turned out? Jesus Christ, Chris. Nardandia Owl says, it kind of makes sense. Flat Earth requires such an immense scale of conspiracy that everything is connected. Dr. Gamble says, Chris, I know the concept of addition is confusing to you, but it's no reason to berate people who can answer correctly what 2 + 2 is.
Confusing them, and they don't know who they are. You know, I mean, forget about the face masks, which is going to be lifted shortly here in New York, but it's just that it's gotten so bad now. I didn't even realize with that video, you know, how bad it was back in the 80s. I mean, you know, really. Look, I can care less about your gender. I can care less about that. Just don't feed it to my children.
What? Transphobia on the bingo card. Oh boy. Chris, I don't know if you know this, but trans people did not invent the concept of gender. That's just a thing that exists already. Like, what?
Okay? All right? Do whatever the fuck you want. I could care less. But I don't want...
Chat's right. You should care less, Chris. You clearly care. Please care less.
Fuck it. I don't care. Anyway, how you doing? Everything's good? Yeah, well, everything's great on this side, on this end. I can tell you what I'm doing, but I don't want to brag about it. Buying a membership at a country club.
Good for you. India Owl says he has children since when? Oh yeah, he has kids.
That I've been saving
At least a kid we've seen before.
up all year for. Hard working money. And that's what's in here.
I'm here to sign up for the country club. Here's my Folgers coffee can full of cash. I don't know if you've heard of a debit card, Chris, but it's a more secure way of keeping your money, or a checkbook. Even a checkbook. I think that would probably maybe help. Just a thought.
And that's going to pay for a year membership at this particular country club. Because I earn my money.
Chris, everyone earns their money. Like, everyone earns their money. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear this, like, bullshit. Oh, I pay my taxes and I do my job. So do the vast majority of people, Chris. You're not special. You're not special because you do your job. Most people do. I do as well. I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, I just hope my daughter understands. And she will.
Your daughter's gonna think you're a loon.
But
I hope. Shiposa says rich people don't earn their money. I don't disagree. I said most people. Let me put it this way. Working class people earn their money.
I'm in so deep right now, beyond any rabbit hole you could possibly imagine. You know, where, I mean, I know everything is fake at this point. And it sucks. And I think, you know, the people really have a big problem saying goodbye to their younger self, shall we say. You know, that you look at yourself, have you changed since you become a flat earther, and then how you were before a flat earther, and how inconsiderate you were and obnoxious, you know.
Which he's not at all anymore. I assure you. Chris isn't obnoxious at all when he walks around in parking lots and yells at people wearing face masks.
And then you realize that the earth is flat, that we're all here together.
Why would the shape of the earth require you to know that? What? Yes, we all live here together on Earth, and we are all we have, regardless of what you think the shape of the earth is. It's an oblate spheroid, but, like, it required you to think the earth was flat to give a shit about other people? That's not a flex.
People have a tough time saying goodbye to that other self. And that's why I think there's so many people that are out there that just hate flat earthers, because they just can't make that transition.
No, people, for one thing, most people do not hate flat earthers. Even I don't hate flat earthers. I think they're funny, but I don't hate them. You're just wrong, Chris. You're just wrong. The earth is not flat.
Into flat earth and saying goodbye to their old self, because, you know, that's who you were, and this is who you are now. And you'll see a major change with not only respect for others and just everything, you know. You know, that, I mean, you look at these buildings that were built 700 years ago. Here in America, we were sitting there 100 years to 200 years ago with a fucking light that that was in a candle inside of a room.
Masons and laborers worked during the day, Chris. Like most people do now also.
Meanwhile, we could build all these reservoir systems that are so complicated you couldn't even figure it out right now. I've already tried.
You couldn't figure it out right now. This is a big, almost like borderline, like pseudo-solipsistic thing that he has going on, where if he doesn't understand something, he doesn't think anyone else has the capability of understanding something. Chris, I don't understand how nuclear fission works. That doesn't mean it doesn't work, or that other people are not capable of understanding it.
Already tried to go in and find out about this, and they won't even let me in there. I have a DEP license, and they won't even let me in there.
Wait, are you just going up to places and demanding to be let into specific buildings to inspect them? What's a DEP license? DEP license. New York. He's in New York. DEP license. A DEP access permit is required on all city-owned recreational lands that are posted with entry by permit signs. City-owned lands that are immediately adjacent to reservoirs and open for recreation also... So it's like a recreation pass to allow people onto specific government-owned land, and he wants to enter specific buildings, and he's surprised when they won't let him into a building, even though the pass sounds like it's for parks and stuff.
Great. It's just ridiculous. I mean, you can't even investigate anything. You can't investigate anything at all. And why the fuck are you wearing a face mask out? Okay. Sorry.
Chris is losing his goddamn mind. What little of it is left, he is not having a good time. I think he's about to, like, hit clock tower, if you know what I mean. I think he's about to go up to a clock tower and do some stuff. Nernania Owl says, this seems to be universal for flurfs. They all seem to have a fatal inability to conceptualize things beyond their direct perspective, such as the scale of the Earth. It's very interesting. Can I explain the bones? Yeah, it has to do with, like, transvestigation videos. There are a group of conspiracy theorists that look at, like, cis people or trans people, whatever, and look at people and go, oh, you can tell by how wide this bone is that they're secretly trans or whatever. So it used to be a bit that I would do, and I still do it if it comes up. I just don't watch those videos as often anymore. Where I'd put on these stupid glasses. They kind of look like this, but they're not sunglasses. I don't know where they went. And I'd have calipers, and I'd freak out about the bones. So it was just like a show meme.
I'm sorry about that. How's the face? Good? Nice. Stinks. But it's good for you. Don't worry about it. I mean, it's very, you know, you gotta put that cloth on. You know, it doesn't really make a difference. N95, I-95. Fucking is. Jesus. How is okay. All right, how's that shot doing? Good?
Yeah. It's good. The hospitalization rates and death rates of vaccinated versus unvaccinated are incredibly wide. You're much safer getting vaccinated. You're less likely to catch it in the first place, and if you do catch it, you're more likely to have a mild case and very unlikely to be severely injured or die from it. So, yeah. It's great.
But, wait a minute. You got sick? How? Why?
You wore your seatbelt and you still got into a car accident? Why?
I thought you got the shot.
I haven't gotten COVID, by the way. Just for the record.
Oh, and you also got the booster, too. And you still got sick? That's all right, though, you know. And you got sick when you got the booster. because the booster gave you the sickness inside of you. So you spent the weekend sick, and then you got sick again after getting it.
With a less severe form than you would have gotten had you not been vaccinated and boosted. MO Addicted says, speaking of bones, have I shown you my necromancer? Oh, Jesus Christ, that's a cool skeleton arm. I really like the skeleton arm. That's really, really rad.
So what's the point?
And yes, the vaccines that we currently have were made for the original strain of COVID, which is no longer the primary strain that is out there. It's Omicron. It was Delta at one point, so it's less effective, but it's still more effective than nothing. So please, still get vaccinated and boosted. And I think they're working on either boosters or straight-up vaccinations for the newer variants, which will hopefully come out somewhat soon. And I will also get those.
Every year, people go through this shit. Every fucking year. With the flu shot.
Yeah, you should also get a flu shot, Chris. At this point, it's pretty clear that, well, we should still be taking precautions right now because we're still having it kind of go through, how do I put this? We're still at a place where a lot of people have yet to be infected, so the overall population can still have huge spikes in people catching coronavirus, which can clog up the hospitals and make outcomes for people in the hospitals much worse. It's worse for people who work in hospitals, all medical workers, and the people who are in there, whether it's for COVID or not, because they're not able to go in for a broken leg if everyone's busy treating patients dying of COVID. Anyway, so we should still be taking precautions, but at this point it seems like, you know, COVID is sticking around. Even once we're done with, like, these big waves of people getting it, which keeps happening every time we reduce, you know, precautions like masks and social distancing and stuff. Even once that's over, it's sticking around, you know? It's gonna be a thing. We might have to get a, like, similar to a flu shot once a year, once every once in a while. I have no idea, and I will get that too, just like a flu shot, because I'm an adult who doesn't want to harm other people and who wants to keep myself as safe as possible. It's fine. It's how life works, Chris. Things happen, you respond to them, and try and act responsibly. You're such a baby for being like, oh, what, you're gonna keep getting flu shots? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, flu shots are good, actually. Hot take. Hydrate.
You get the shot, and then all of a sudden some idiot scientist or doctor comes up and says, you know what, that was the wrong strain that we didn't really know, and you should take another shot, because I mean it's endless. Pharmaceutical companies have made trillions of
oh boy, it's almost like we should take the profit motive out of the medical industry. That's crazy.
fucking dollars. You know who's made money in this epidemic? Are the billionaires who are now trillionaires, and the pharmaceutical company.
There are no trillionaires yet. Jeff Bezos is on track to become one, but no one is a trillionaire yet. At least not on the books.
That are now trillionaires.
Bumble Homestead says he's old enough he should really be getting flu and pneumonia vaccines in addition to COVID. Nornandia Owl says, speaking of the flu, wearing masks to curb the spread of that is actually a really good idea too, much like countries like Japan do it. I agree. I hope masks are a thing that continue to be a thing. I like wearing masks. Hides my face. I have self-image issues.
I just looked up the stock of Pfizer. It just went up 48%. And it was shit. It was like nothing years ago.
Oh boy. It's almost like your company perception of value goes up when you help develop a vaccine that helps save countless lives. It's crazy. Bittergrin says, have some bits. I was going to say something clever, but you keep saying everything I think of. I do my best. I actually don't know what Pfizer stock is at. I should look. Pfizer. I'm going to spell this wrong. How do you spell Pfizer? Someone tell you. I don't know how to spell. I talk real good. I don't spell real good. Pfizer. No, Pfizer stocks, well, it's down on a day basis. Let's see. 5 years. Looks like its height was in December of 2021. This was recently after the vaccine came out, I think, so that makes sense that it would spike, and now it's correcting back down to a more, air quote, reasonable level. I still think we're in a stock market bubble right now, but, yeah, I'm not surprised it went up. They kind of helped produce one of the vaccines that's amazing. Though I don't think the profit motive should be a thing in medicine. Let me be clear about that. But I'm just talking about the market as it exists today, not the way I wish it to be.
Do you tell me, are you making the right decision?
To get vaccinated? Yes.
Or you're endangering... Oh, you see, I almost did it. I almost did it. Fuck you, too. You know, I just can't speak my fucking mind anymore with this
Get a BitChute channel, weirdo.
goddamn censorship and this bullshit that we all know that it's fake. We've known this.
Yeah, Pfizer isn't worth... Although, I guess I don't know their market cap. Like, you can't directly compare share price without looking at the market cap of the company, because it's going to vary the share price, like, by quite a bit, by how many actual outstanding shares of stock are out there. But, Apple is worth more than Pfizer, I think, so...
This from the fucking beginning. No one's listened to me.
Gee, I wonder why. It's almost like all your ideas are bad.
They all went through the motions, and they've all done what they had to do. And they're still getting sick. And I was ridiculed. Because I stood my ground, and I still do. And I still am.
He's gonna get sick and die, I swear. I hope he doesn't, but, like... He's so stupid. He's so stupid.
You'll never inject me with any fucking thing unless if I'm passed out.
M. Scheffler, thanks for 10 months, says, popped in just to renew my sub. I'll see them on YouTube later. Well, thank you very much.
I'm dead.
Why would they... First of all, why would they vaccinate you if you're already sick? And why would they vaccinate you if you're already dead? They wouldn't do either of those things.
And then it doesn't make a difference, right? That so many people tell me, you know, you're risking your life.
They are correct.
What? I've risked my life for a year and a half before any of this was even fucking fabricated at all.
J.I. Law says, he's gonna get sick and die, Dr. Anaplast.
Just like everybody else did. They were out there. Helped everybody, but now... Don't worry. Keep your ground. It's all about to come to an end. And I'm glad I did. I stood strong. I made my way.
He thinks he's a badass for endangering himself and the people around him. That's sad.
And I dealt with the hardship and the nonsense that everybody around me, all my family members, everybody. And you should stand your ground too. Because this is all going to come to an end. And we're going to be able to look back at this day and say, you know what, it's done. We're finished.
Am I taking Baja's last name, or is she taking mine? Are you hyphenating to Reloaded Blast? I'm taking her last name.
I thank you for subbing. I thank you for viewing my videos and letting me be a part of your life.
Yeah, so Chris isn't doing well. He seems to be on the verge. So I hope he doesn't crack and do anything irrational. But he's not doing well. Yikes. Let's move on.